When we started the development of Terrælino, we tried to imagine how a primordial element like Earth could be worked and embellished by skilled hands to form a perfect fusion of nature and craftsmanship. The collection Terrælino struck me right away for its feeling of unity and coherence, since all its shades refer to different shades of the Earth, and also because the variety of colours in the range allows us to design with great freedom of expression, always finding the most suitable combination for our purposes. This depends on how the colours were selected. These colours create very harmonious proposals, which acquire a different and absolutely particular shade depending on the other colours they're combined with. The collection is studied and refined from this point of view, with an approach that meets the way we work in architecture, thinking about how colours can communicate, giving each other strength and value. Thanks to a range of tone-on-tone grouts, we obtain a feeling of visual continuity with a very natural impact. This eliminates the perception of interruptions phenomenon, which can often be one of the great limits of the use of ceramic materials in architecture. Using grouts in this way, it's possible to create settings that give back a great sense of organicity. With this in and out setting, for example, the availability of Sabbia and Melograno colours allowed us to create a project in full harmony with the surrounding landscape. It's as if the architectural space was an extension of the natural environment it overlooks, and this obviously returns a satisfying effect of harmony. Another great merit of the Terrælino collection is the availability of large formats that allow us to amplify that feeling of continuity I mentioned earlier. In this museum house, the possibility to use the 120 by 120 and 120 by 240 modules allowed us to design the area, giving the idea of a continuous space. I would even say dematerialized. If I think about how the choice of fango and calce colours works by further subtraction. The final result is an almost metaphysical, surreal space in perfect harmony with its intended use. In this living room, colour returns to be the great protagonist. The menta colour allowed us to give a 1950s flavour to the space, a flavour that also returns with the use of coloured gesso on the wall, to give the illusion of a painted surface, as was common use at the time. For the floor, on the other hand, the idea was to offer an interrupting effect, both with the size and with the pepe colour that creates a harmonious contrast effect, as well as interacting with the dark wood and metal finishes on the furnishing objects. Melograno is a strong colour with character, but at the same time, in the interpretation that this collection gives it, also transmits a reassuring sensation of warmth, of empathy. This is why we chose it to emphasise the elegance of this boutique, and at the same time, the idea that the place, although exclusive, is welcoming. As for the wall covering, also in this case with the calce colour, we wanted to convey the idea of a painted surface. In the hall that you can see now, it's clear how strong the relationship between the various colours of Terrælino is. With the natural colours, fango and sabbia, we intervened on the wall to create a neutral background that frames the environment and, at the same time, gives great prominence to the coloured walls, characterised by a light that falls from above like a waterfall. As for the two colours, Melograno and Ginepro selection, it was functional to give a strong decorative and emotional mark to the project. Here we finally played at home. We're talking about an architect's studio for which we use the natural colours pepe and gesso with the intention of giving maximum value to the material. A material that refers a lot to the idea of concrete, attributing to the whole area an extremely essential design rigour.